Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Poet's Return podcast. First and foremost, I just want to say that I hope everyone's doing okay out there. I know, speaking for myself, I've been slightly going insane, so I hope you're all doing okay during this time, staying afloat financially, emotionally, mentally, all the things. It's crazy. It's hard during times of uncertainty. I think one of the scariest things is not knowing what's going to happen. So I hope you're all doing well and are able to, if anything, reconnect with loved ones and friends during this weird chaos. Thank you for your patience also. We apologize for the late release. It's my fault completely as your host. I had gone to Coco's in-home studio and was able to speak to her and Beaches a lot about the album. We were really creative, really silly, really absurd. And I had taken a little mic with me, but the audio just wasn't exactly what we wanted. And so she was kind enough to agree to set up her own mic from her studio, do a phone call, and it actually turned out great because she has her whole own setup at home. So it was awesome. So this episode is really special to me also because I've known Coco for quite a while. She's an amazing creative. She is a video game animator. She's a graphic designer. She is a costume designer, set dresser, she's a musician, she's a poet, she's a actor, she's so many different things. But her poetry has always really stuck with me. It's something that was introduced to me while we were just like shooting the shit, hanging out back on set when we used to hang out in production, and she would just start rapping something, or she would just spit some ridiculous rhyme or some ridiculous verse or come up with some saying, and I was like, did you just pull that out of your sleeve? And she'd be like, yep. She's an absolute wordsmith, and her animation, her creativity, her costume savvy, like the things that I've seen her do on set and behind the scenes, it's crazy, as well as in front of the camera. So she's a multifaceted, multi-talented creative, and I'm really excited to share her work with you. So we talk about a lot of different things. We went over a lot of the stuff that we talked about in person, but also delved into some more things a little deeper, which is why we decided to make this a full-length episode. She goes into all sorts of intricacies, talking about Josh Harris, how he's Crouching Tiger, Hidden Genius. We talk about recurring dreams, the art of rogue baboon cooking. We talk about a lot of things in this episode, but most importantly, we really talk about her origins as an artist, as a creative, and as a writer and poet. So to begin this episode, I'm actually going to introduce you to a piece from her album, The Myst, Wisdom of the Serpent, that she and Beaches both created together musically and basically through improv. This was improvised, which is another amazing thing to me. She had poetry that she'd written, but a lot of the stuff was improv-based, so it's pretty cool. But I'm going to start off with Reality 101 from The Myst, Wisdom of the Serpent, just to sort of get us in the mood for the episode, Whiskey Cigarettes with Coco Rigal. Here it is.
It was an ordinary morning, but for some reason, everything felt so different. And my internet addiction had returned from its morning jog to inhabit my world and swallow my soul whole all before 10 a.m. In this world of fire-breathing heathens and church bells rang by demons, who's to say the internet isn't the devil's right-hand man? Collecting all the information he can from the digital land man believes he created. Delivering souls through internet portholes straight to hell. Wouldn't that be something? Reflections of ourselves rippling through the virtual pond of life, reaching destinations we don't even understand. Which dimension does the internet live in? Is it a place only VIP get in? Can you swim? What will happen to real life when the internet comes to claim its kingdom? Will we still enjoy those moments of ecstasy without a box of pixelated people who seem slightly see-through? like the smell of fresh brewed coffee, the taste of bacon in the morning. Will anyone care about their friends? Or will they be like passing fashion trends in the form of clicks and impressions with promotional intentions? I like, she likes, he likes, we all like in the end. And it's alright for now. But when my iPhone can walk and lay eggs like a spider spinning webs in the night, the internet with its grip so tight there's no room left for air. Just blank stares from office chairs or anywhere. The internet has led us to all believe that we are free. At least free to roam that chicken factory. Josh Harris once said lions and tigers used to be the kings of the jungle. And then one day, they wound up in zoos. Makes me think, which master of disaster will cage me in the end? And you thought the internet was your friend. Without revolution or with evolution, the internet prostitutions of ourselves will reverse us. Bacon. I really appreciate it when it's sliced so thin. One day we'll be in caves again at this rate, subdued with drugs and virtual hugs, sweeping our problems onto cyber rugs. Where will that get us in the end? And how will we find friends when there's nowhere to go? I really like records, you know.
Good morning, world. Hello, Coco.
Hello, how's it going?
It's going, dude. Thank you for doing this. Even after the in-home visit to your studio and I messed it up.
No, don't even mention it. It's totally cool.
Well, Coco's been gracious enough to do a second interview after I went to the studio with her and we got to work, and her and Beaches got to show me this whole poetry album that they'd worked on, and we got to talk and have a great time and do absurd voices and be ridiculous and drink whiskey and have some cigarettes.
Yes, ma'am.
Which I feel like is also such an iconic thing where you are in downtown LA with like the whole fire escape thing. I always
fire
think
escape
of, like,
life is pretty dreamy. I mean, I love that. It's like it's almost
it's dreamy.
I mean, obviously having a garden has its better perks, but it's nice to be able to go on a fire escape and just have a cigarette.
Absolutely. It's its
Or a
own
joint.
rustic form of beauty.
You can go and have a joint. I prefer a joint if I was rolling deep.
Artistic preferences.
What?
No, but that was really cool what we got to do. But unfortunately, because I sort of garbled the audio and messed it up, it wasn't the best quality. So we wanted to make sure that we got a little bit more behind the scenes.
Behind.
Exactly.
Good.
So we are amid this crazy little weird crisis. I've known Coco for, I think, 6 years. I think we met in like late 2014 because I think we started doing the production stuff 2015 that was when we.
Yeah, I think it was.
Wasn't that?
Yeah, I think 2015 or maybe even earlier, because I think I only moved into this apartment in around 2015. So I feel like it was like early 15, maybe late 14.
Totally. Very, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, 2014.
And crazy. So, but Coco's very, very talented in a versatile amount of ways. She, when I was first introduced to her, she was doing costume design, set dressing, still acting, and obviously she's an amazing writer and poet. And then also she does amazing animation. She's an amazing animator. Actually is working on some video game design.
Yeah.
That is really cool, especially amid all this weird stuff when public events aren't happening. It's great that there's different ways that creatives and artists can create virtual content.
Yeah, I mean, well, and content is king right now in the world of scrolling fingers. It's like everyone's stuck at home, so you know everyone's addicted to that. Is there something new yet?
100% true.
I think there's
true.
there's some
king.
acronym for that, but I can't remember what it is right now. It's like when you like are afraid to miss stuff.
Oh, the FOMO.
FOMO, yeah. For all you FOMO people out there, we got plenty of content coming. It's all coming.
Well, and that's something that you've always like been.
You already
since
missed
I've
it.
known you.
I'm like, you already missed it. It's coming.
You already missed the wave, bro.
Yeah. It's so
But
fast.
you've
It's coming
always
so fast, you already missed it.
Which is impressive.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Oh, I'm about to get a helicopter here behind me.
Oh, helicopters are good. You know, I have this app I've been using that's like called the Citizen app. I suggest to everyone out there that if you're interested in what's exactly going on in your neighborhood from a citizen's point of view, you can open up the app and kind of, or get alerts, which I don't usually do. But you can open it up and it's like, oh, in your neighborhood, some guy's chasing people with a pole, you know, or like that's actually one of the latest ones. It was pretty good, you know. Woman chases men with 2 machetes, you know. Can't beat shit like that.
Dude.
So you'll just know when you hear helicopters, you can go on Citizen app. We did it the other day. Like some assailant was on the run. And I decided to check Citizen. And apparently they'd found him by the time I checked. But because I was like, fuck it. I'm going to go and...
Oh, dude, I agree. I know I have the Nextdoor app, and it's kind of the same thing. Like, it's like people just... You never know what's going to get put up on that thing.
And on Nextdoor, can you
know.
upload videos like personally as well? Like, because it's like all live. The cool thing about Citizen is you can like watch like people getting arrested and shit like live.
Oh shit,
That's
intense.
It's pretty intense, but like sometimes very entertaining. I mean, maybe I'm one of a few people who are entertained by stuff like that. But
that would entertain me.
yeah, I mean, especially during a pandemic, like. The other day, someone was assaulting someone at 7-Eleven, and like I was about to go buy cigarettes. Like, I need to know stuff like that. I have to be in the know.
Hey, that is real talk right there.
You know,
got to be in the know.
A pandemic need
especially
to know
when
basis.
Shit's going down.
But,
oh my gosh.
So I don't know.
100%.
Is there anything you want to, you know, get into?
Well,
or?
I was gonna say. I mean, so. Obviously, you have an extensive background in all different sorts of art, going from graphic design things and animation to acting and set dressing and costumes.
Yeah.
So what kind of inspired you to begin this whole like journey to be an artist, I guess? Because I know, but the audience doesn't know that you're an East Coast native. So tell us a little bit about your initial journey from East to West.
I mean, basically, like, obviously, I've always wanted to be an artist. Like, I thought, like, oh, one day I'll wake up and I'll be Van Gogh and everyone will pay me $60 million for my fingerprint. You know, that was all running through my brain, but... I moved to LA because I was working for a company and they moved me here and basically like I sort of immersed myself in different types of art scenes. But I mean, even I lived in Miami for a while and I was selling paintings at Art Basel and stuff and, you know, going to school and doing all that kind of stuff. But I mean, I once sold a Buddha that I made out of like this coffee and acrylic, like the coffee had like sugar in it, so it gave it this weird glaze. But and I was really proud of it, but I only did it in 24 hours, and I ended up selling it like randomly, our basil, for like, I don't know, $5,000 or something. So obviously art's always first love, sanctioned, but I don't know.
Yeah, dude.
So I don't know what else I need to add to that, but I mean,
Well,
that kind of
and, like,
inspires me
since
to do other weird stuff, So like I've had fake rap groups and all kinds of different stuff.
well, right,
Alias
you've always like
101.
since I mean, since I've known you, you've always been just 100% like such a versatile artist. Like I remember when we worked for that production company, we would take lunch breaks and park around the block and be eating our tacos or whatever it was, and you'd be like, squirrel is running up the tree, and like, 20 minutes later, we're still on the same, we're still somehow creating this same like long form improv song.
Yeah.
And we would get so many creative ideas from it because I think like you're just a natural born creative. So there's an element of play that's always in line with work, no matter what work you're doing.
Yeah.
Because if not, then you're going to like shrivel up and die.
Totally. Well, you too. I mean, that's exactly what Melissa Bowie stands for, It's like,
dude, I mean, we had some, I still have ideas. I still have notes in my phone from us, like ideas that we have that I still read through and I don't delete them because I'm like, this is still a damn good idea.
yeah, of course.
Just characters.
I don't delete any
Characters.
phone notes, voice memos, all that shit. I got stacks on stacks.
Yeah, dude. The only time I delete them is when I'm like, they're destructive and they're repetitious.
Sure.
That's the only time. Is when I'm like, I gotta get you out of here. You don't belong in this circus.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, you've just done so many things, and obviously with the video games now and everything that you're doing. So with Myst, Wisdom of the Serpent, and all of that, can you talk a little bit about just the origin of that and how the album came to fruition and kind of came about in your process?
Yeah, sure. I mean, like, basically, like, the Wisdom of the Serpent is basically inspired by a bunch of different stuff, but the title is actually just, like, I once found this, like, it's like a trilogy of books, like, and one of them is called The Wisdom of the Serpent, The Alpha, and I don't know, The Two Hands of God, which is one by Alan Watts, and there's like a few different psychologists who like wrote this trilogy of like myths. It's kind of like the myths of polarity, and reading about myths has been like something I love doing. So I stumbled upon these books in like a basement filled with like hundreds of books. Like, it was kind of weird, but that's a whole nother story. But yeah, and the Wisdom of the Serpent actually was one that I was like, oh, this is interesting because it's kind of explaining how, maybe the serpent wasn't a bad guy. Like, some people don't even think that. And that was a culmination of other ideas in poetry I was writing. I mean, like, Beaches and I just decided to like put some of his music and stuff that he was working on, kind of like a mood vibe and different kinds of soundtracks, and I don't know, kind of like make something cool, And so like most of the stuff was recorded improv style. Like, we'd put on some weird tracks and trigger some drums or something, and I would read something out of my notebook, and that was that. And basically, like, the cool thing about the Myst is like we kind of never edit anything. Like, so sometimes there's like a mistake that I hear personally, and I'm like, oh, I probably should have changed that. But at the same time, it was supposed to be kind of like a live feed vibe. So it's like, what happens, and you don't change it, But yeah, so it's kind of like a compilation. If you listen to like the entire album, it's like a compilation of a journey in a sense, and it's kind of out of this world, or like, a place where a mystery can kind of like lay its head and chill out. Like the Outer Limits, or like Erie, Indiana or something, but in spoken word poetry.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love that. What did you say as a creative that you said something really cool just
Well, it's
now.
like a place where mystery can like put its head down on a pillow and relax, you know? Because it's like so many people like put mystery to the test and like don't actually just enjoy it for the facts of it being a cool story or it being whatever it is. I mean, sometimes it gets turned into like, oh, don't read that. That's bad for you. But like, you know, I feel like
100%.
I love just like getting into all kinds of weird stuff. And like, you know, there's things like, I don't know if you've ever heard of someone called Josh Harris. Or like, he has like this documentary, which is actually like Omni Tyler. She does a documentary called We Live in Public. And that like seriously kind of had an impression on the Myst. And just the idea of like public living and how people's thoughts are now in your face, you know, by choice or not, you know, sometimes not by choice. So it's kind of like dealing with those ideas and like, I don't know.
Well, and it's difficult because I do feel like when I listen to it, I get that vibe, you know, like the idea of battling this sort of wave of being so dependent on social and techno and all these things where you can't turn your brain off and you can't reconnect to like the things that initially might ground you or inspire you.
Yeah. And just like your own ideas, your own mind, really. But I mean, if you haven't seen like We Live in Public, you should totally watch it. Like Josh Harris is like Crouching Tiger, secret genius. He's dangerous. That's why no one knows about who he is. It's like he did basically what we're all doing like in the 90s, you know? Like he created these people who just like live underground and do whatever the fuck they want, but it's all filmed. Like literally everything is coming true to what he did. Like I saw this like big model brushing her teeth on
told
Instagram.
Me about this.
Yeah, like and like these huge models are brushing their teeth on Instagram because they're bored and COVID-19. I mean, sorry, I don't want to go there, but I just did.
Well, but I mean, it's but that's how like that's the.
But Josh
tradition of
went
art
there,
and,
you know,
and of everything is like responding to what's going on in the environment and in your world, you know.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to go there because like people aren't always willing to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth when it comes to even art.
Yeah. And like you can like dig into Josh Harris. He has like a wealth of really cool, weird stuff that he's been up to, and I don't know what he's doing now, to be honest. But
and where is he from?
Well, it was like a project that was done in New York. I would have to remember details, which I'm not really thinking of right now.
But he's an American.
Oh yeah,
I wasn't sure if he.
Yeah, no, he's an American. He may be from New York, but I don't know. I know that he went to MIT and stuff and was involved with all that New York cool MIT techie vibes. But Jupiter Inc. and stuff, you know.
Dude, that's freaking cool though.
But
that's quite well, it's stuff that like a lot of people probably would never be aware of.
No, I mean, I think everyone who's listening right now, they should go watch We Live in Public. And I mean, that's just like later in what Josh was up to. That was like the vibe that almost ended him. But it's beautiful. It's awesome.
Well, and why did it? Well, yeah.
You have to watch. I can't tell you. I can't tell you what happens. You must watch.
It was a mystery, part of the mystery.
Yeah, that's part of the Myst, you know? The smoke came in. I can't remember what we were talking about.
Well, and you had kind of touched on about the whole like wisdom of the serpent.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
I mean, that's just the idealisms that, like, you know, the serpent's not always that bad. And that, like, really to research all kinds of different things is the way to go. I mean, because that whole compilation is actually, like, kind of a Zen Buddhist movement type of thing, but also talks about all different parts of everything, you know, so... I mean, I don't claim any religion in any sense. So I just like to get involved with stuff that's interesting and, like, read about it and then express through it. I mean, also, a lot of the Myst stuff was actually dreams. Like, Theater with Jeannie was actually, like, a legit dream that I had. So, you know.
That's pretty cool.
Like, I have a dream book where sometimes I write down weird dreams. I mean, I haven't really been doing it too much lately because I've been working on so much different stuff, but...
Well, you know, I struggle with my dream journal because a lot of the times I write it down in the middle of the night and I'm incoherent, and then I read it back and it looks like I wrote in hieroglyphics. And I'm like, am I Egyptian?
I mean,
Like,
I
do
weirdly
I
can
have?
remember like full-fledged dreams. Like
I
sometimes
can't.
it's
Sometimes
overwhelming.
I can too.
It's overwhelming. Like I haven't gone to bed and I've been doing all kinds of weird stuff in the night, and it's just, I guess,
Do
part
you have
of it.
recurring
Oh
dreams?
yeah. I mean, I always have. Actually have a weird recurring dream that like I kind of like live in walls, like Anne Frank vibes, like, and I have to
Well,
escape this
so
house, and it's just there's a whole thing and stuff like that.
that's
Yeah,
intense.
but like, and I remember
That's
all of it, and it's weird because
intense.
I had it when the reoccurring type that I have is like where I'll remember a little bit more each time and kind of like go to different rooms and not do certain things. And like I found a latch that's in a closet where you can open the latch, and in there's like an attic room, and then through the door down the attic room there's like some weird fucking shed room with a boat and shit. And you gotta run from guys with machetes and machine guns. But I play a lot of video games, so but this is pre-video game. Some of these dreams. But I have drawings. Like I've actually the house dream. I actually have like an architectural map almost, like because I remembered it one day and I was like, I'm gonna draw it. Um,
Dude.
but yeah, I mean, reoccurring dreams are really interesting because it's like once you can
See,
remember,
I have.
it's weird,
Well, it's hard because then you can't tell. Sometimes it feels like you're living two lives. Like both lives are equally real.
Totally.
Um,
And nobody wants
I
to
have
live in the walls. Like fuck that.
No, that's awful.
Yeah.
That's absolutely traumatizing. That would freak me the fuck out. But I have reoccurring worlds that happen.
Yeah, cool.
And
Crazy.
a lot of the same sequences happen, but they'll happen in different ways, which is interesting.
Yeah.
But it never ends. It never ends well.
No, I mean mine don't really end. That's the weird thing is it's not like I die and I jump off a cliff. It's like I've gotten to some weird
Right.
point where like I can get past the dogs in the forest and make it to the cliff's
Exactly.
edge.
And then you're like, what's next? And like, it's like you never level up.
Yeah.
But that's horrifying. Being stuck in the walls. No, thank you.
Well, I mean, I've made it past that though. Like even at this point, every time I have it, I get to the Cliff Creek thing, So it's all good. I get out of the house. It's just like sometimes it's like one of those puzzle games, like where you like reset your life and you're like fuck, I didn't save. And sometimes you have to just do it slightly different, but sometimes it turns out better, and you like find some bullets in a weird house, and then you could.
That's actually really fucking astute because that's exactly what it's like. So I feel like we have similar dream patterns because it's like you're in the same circumstances, same worlds, but you can find ways to level up and get out of that circumstance and make it to the next.
Well, that's
obstacle.
like your mind dealing with your problems,
Completely.
So
But
I mean, maybe you build your own house. I feel like you maybe because you're like a constructive criticism person, you can build your own house and then you can start.
I always end up getting scared by something though. There's something that chases me off. I always get chased off by zombies or like.
See, I don't really have zombies in my dreams. Like I play zombie games, but I don't know. I mean, weird. I'm gonna mention something super weird. Like I was not super weird, but I was once like a lesbian vampire who like had to tell my wife that I had to leave because I like found out I was a vampire, and
Dude,
I was like, I don't want to eat her. I didn't want to eat her, so I was like, I gotta go. I'm sorry, babe. But it was weird because I was just like some chick who had this wife, and.
Dude, dreams are crazy.
And people were shooting watermelons at me with like catapults. It's like, so yeah, dreams are obviously weird, but like you can create cool ideas out of that. I mean, especially as someone who animates stuff and like who does weird stuff, I don't take them seriously. Like I'm not like, oh, I dreamt that I had like was in the sand with a snake. Like, what does it mean? I don't care. It's like, well, it's just a cool.
And what are some of the coolest? Can I ask you like what have been some of the coolest? Like name your top 3. Coolest animation ideas that have come out of possibly like a dream world or something where you're just like, what's this? What does this mean?
I mean, I guess it's like Theater with Genie because that actually has the whole idea with Theater with Genie. It was supposed to be an animation that then became like this music video for that portion of the soundtrack, and because it's a dream that like I've almost fully visualized like being at a theater with this genie, And then all sorts of weird things happen throughout that trip with my genie. But I mean, that was fully inspired by a dream, but like it was almost like I could remember what it looked like. The colors were like very blue, and it was like almost like Arctic colors. But I just haven't really made the visualization of that for people to see right now. But I mean, maybe it's coming. I don't know. Well, the thing with the Myst is that it was actually originally a soundtrack for a film, essentially, that exists in your mind, if that makes any sense, you know? And like we were really inspired by a lot of like mood music at the time. And I don't know if you've ever heard of Dr. Samuel J. Hoffman. He actually makes like theremin music and like weird mood music for like old sci-fi movies and different stuff. But yeah, like his stuff, but also like Lee Hazelwood and the Doors and kind of like Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac. Those are all kind of things that, like, obviously Lucky was, like, inspired with for all the soundtracks and different stuff. Because, I mean, essentially that's what it is. It's, like, soundtrack music with poetry read over it, you know? And then, like, once those ideas of, like, what was being thought of, it was kind of, like, essentially in the film, it's just your inner monologue. So it's, like, I mean, and we filmed a lot of it. It's actually, you know, probably could be edited into something that, you know, you can watch. But it's interesting. Yeah. And like because basically I once the Hollow Earth is a film, or the next portion of it goes Wisdom of the Serpent and then the Hollow Earth, and like once those are out you could watch the film, you know, because it's kind of like a whole thing. It has to come together.
I see what you mean.
Yeah. I mean, you can give me money and I'll make it now. I mean, if anyone has any money and they want to open their wallet, holla. Like
100%.
Send me some money 100%. And I'll make you the film. Yeah, I mean, really, you're just supposed to imagine it. That's kind of part of the point.
Well, and I think another thing, too, that's really cool about what you guys have done is you're implementing so many different mediums, you know, like you... Obviously, with Luke doing, you know, Beaches doing music and improv, which both of you do, and then you being able to use poetry and storytelling, and then also animation, and it's just kind of cool because it's like your options are sort of endless because you have access to a lot of creativity just through yourself, which doesn't, you know, that makes it make it sound easy. It's not that it's still easy, but no,
I mean, it's never easy, but like you have to, in order to like control or like have creative freedom, you really have to do everything kind of nowadays, you know? And that's just what 2020 is all about, especially in this isolation moment that we're having right now. No, you know, it's like get your shit together and still do some shit, even though you can't go anywhere.
100% true.
If you listen to like the Taurus horoscopes on the Myst album, like the first one, it kind of is like, it's funny because I'm a Taurus and like all the horoscopes, I basically kind of just make them up from like inside my soul, where I'm like not gonna let someone else tell me what your horoscope is. Like I've told you, type of vibe. And like, you know, I know a lot about different types of all of the outskirts and inskirts of the Myst, essentially. Anything mystic. So I'm giving you all these horoscopes, but like when I read myself mine, like I fuck up in the middle. And like I even call it in my own horoscope that I wrote before. It was like, if you can just focus, like get your shit together, and you'll have this key to something secret to show everyone, in a sense, you know? I mean, like, you can listen to hear the exact wording, but it's kind of saying how, like, the doorbell rings on the track and everything. So just so you can find your mark, you know? It's like, I'm in the middle of my horoscope and I fuck up, and then this doorbell rings, and it's like, if you can just focus. I fucking wish I wrote it down for you, because now I'm being an asshole. But it's like, you know, I say in the beginning, I'm like, you know, the power of the Myst is in your fingertips, and like I give myself my own destiny, and then I fuck it up, and then like this doorbell rings, and it's like you can open a key to a new door, and it kind of did in a sense. And I wrote that not really thinking of myself as a Taurus, even though I am, And like it shows itself within even the recording, and because it's live, it was like there's nothing I could do about it. So, but I think you should listen. And that's what I'm saying, is that like the first track on the Myst album is Horoscopes 101, and in there you can find mistakes and and find fun
You
things.
can find all the mistakes.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, dude.
And you can hear me like recite my poetry. So I mean, what I think is you should just play Reality 101 or a bit, an insert of the beginning, because it kind of shows.
Yeah, dude.
Which is my favorite track besides Theater with Jeannie, because that's like my weird inner soul, you know. But
No, I love them all, but I do love Reality 101. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, and Reality 101 was kind of like the first. It's not the. It kind of maybe even was the first track that we recorded on the album properly and had finished, you know. But yeah, I mean, and even that was improv, so it was kind of like, you know, you can hear me like making breakfast and stuff. You can hear what it sounds like.
Which all of that, right? But all of that I freaking love.
Yeah,
I think it makes.
But I mean,
such
I
a
want you to
fleshed out-
picture
it's
what
like
I'm
a
doing
world.
and like sit in your mind and like see it and hear it in a sense. So it's like, but I'm thinking it. I'm not telling anyone I think it. I'm telling you guys now, you know, in a sense. That's kind of what it is. It's like,
It's an experience.
yeah.
I think that a lot of the poetry that's going on in the world right now, people respond to because it's visceral and it's relatable and it's an experience and it's experiential. And I feel like that's a lot of what the Myst is, the wisdom of the serpent, you know, especially Reality 101.
Reality
You're
101
taken
is
through
perfect
a journey.
for this morning because, you know, it's like, it's just any
Dude.
ordinary morning, but like for some reason, this morning is so different, you know? And that's almost every morning.
Right, completely. And it's one of those things where you're taken on a journey that's it's one of those things where your imagination is ignited, but you're also like again, Reality 101.
Yeah. And you're like,
your relatability.
and my internet addiction had returned from its morning jog to inhabit my world and swallow my
that's
soul.
why I
whole.
had to post
like,
that.
Because that's true. It's like, and I wrote that. Like, it was basically like the internet had swallowed me, and it was always like giving me this weird bath, and I just wanted to address it, you know?
And you did a beautiful job of it.
And it was only 10 a.m. And that was realistic. Like, I remember looking at the time and going like, and it's only 10 a.m. Like, yeah, full-fledged. Like, all the emails checked. All those things checked.
Dude.
You know, where you're like, there's not much else to do on the internet. What do I do?
What is next?
But that's why, you know, something like the Myst even started in the first place, you know? It's like, then you just go and express yourself somewhere. I mean, I'm lucky enough to even have that option, but yeah, like I can't imagine what it'd be like to be like so bored in COVID-19 and not be an artist. Like, that's hard. That's some tough times. You should learn to do something. Read some weird shit. Like,
listen to the podcast and then go listen to Coco's album.
And I think you should probably just like finger paint something and see what happens. Because, you know, sometimes all that weird, like childlike art, like people who didn't go to fine art school, like, you'd be shocked. Like, your art's probably better than mine. Like, you don't know.
Hey, it's real. People have undiscovered things because they weren't encouraged. It wasn't cultivated.
Totally.
Or they didn't understand that it was okay.
Yeah. Polak could teach you something.
Oh my goodness. Well, dude, I can't wait until we get out of this so I can come back over, or you guys can come back over here and
yeah.
I can come visit you in downtown. Or
for sure, I think everyone's waiting for COVID-19 to go to bed, you know?
Well, and Coco's cooking is like the best cooking that's ever been cooked. So
nice.
I really miss also just being over there. And you'd be like, oh, I just whipped something up. And then I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, it's like pure like rogue baboon cooking. It's like what's in my world, I'll just throw that all in. You know?
I've gotten pretty good at that during COVID, but not Coco good.
Well, I mean, that's like 20... that's actually like 34 years of just random being... Well, I guess I wasn't cooking when I was born, but, you know.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us again.
Good count.
This was a really fun episode to do, and when this quarantine ends and all these kind of chaotic happenings end, I will definitely go back to the downtown LA studio and hang out with Coco on beaches and record something again. And just thank you for supporting us. If you want to further support, please go to our page, give us a like, go to Apple Podcasts, let us know what you think of what we're doing. And again, please let us know if you have any content you want to share. Email us at poetsreturn@gmail.com, DM us at poetsreturn on Instagram or on Facebook or Twitter. We would love to know what your thoughts are, and also if you have any work that you want to share as a poet, a writer, storyteller. All of the above. But thank you for joining us. Again, Whiskey Cigarettes, subtitle, Content is King. I love all the things Coco has to say about, compilation of a journey, the Myst, a place where, mystery can go and relax, kind of set its head down and relax. I just love all of the wordsmithing that was happening. So thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay safe, stay healthy, and please continue to use your words well.
It was the 29th of October. 1 joint, 2 joints, 3 joints, maybe 4. A trip to the local liquor store to buy some more of that cheap champagne. I can't complain when I think about the comfort zone Los Angeles gives. If it wasn't for the people, I would actually love this godforsaken place. A trace of sleaze on everyone's sleeves makes it all a little hard to stomach. But the weather just makes all your problems disappear. The sky was as clear as a crystal ball, and the air was only slightly tainted with smog. Beautiful day. The foggy haze over my brain makes me wonder where all that damn time comes from. And where the hell is it when I need it? The tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock of my internal clock in this silent house makes it all the more surreal. Dancing with the devil on any kind of level always feels nice because of the way it seduces you into whatever it likes. But in the end, how will eternal thirst feel? The divine things in life come at all prices, even when they're free. The wisdom of the serpent goes far beyond you or me, far beyond mists of polarity. Rare miracles and psychobabble. Goodbye.